6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is loose. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 3 1. Rotate.
Uh-oh, black screen of death. There we go. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Extreme approaches, extreme weather. I've got freezing rain fast approaching the V1 HQ. I don't know if we're going to be able to do the second stream. I really want to fly the P180. It's already set up. I don't know. It's going to just depend on after this stream. I'll have to take a look outside, see if everything's frozen over, glazed over. Where's Turk at? But we should have enough time to get this flight done. We're taking the 321 up to Skardu. If you haven't seen, if you haven't seen a Skardu approach, you are in for a treat. One of my favorite approaches in the sim to do. Honestly, it's one of my favorite ones. It's just, the scenery is absolutely incredible. This will be our first time, however, doing it on 2024. So it should be a good one. We're taking a 321 in there, which we've never taken before. We should be able to get it down and in. We've taken an MD-11 in there. That was extra spicy. Took a 777 in there, almost accelerated, stalled it on the turn with PMDG himself watching, Mr. Randazzo. But we were successful, 2 for 2. Now this is going to be the third attempt. Hopefully the third time is the charm, and we can just grease this one in there as we did the previous 2 times. So I'm ready to go. Pakistan International Airlines departing from Delhi, which I was brought to my attention that would never happen, which that's fine. We're in flight sim, and I didn't want to fly the other one. I can't remember the normal departure that we do for this flight. It's just too long of a flight because I want to try to do 2 streams. So pretend with me, maybe we're doing a little charter flight or something like that. Anyway, Let's get this show on the road. Mr. Saturday in the house. Mr. Saturday, can I watch one of your juice videos on stream, dude? That one where you're going in on the Fenix and it's the New Zealand thing? Man, it is so juice, man. Good to see Mr. Saturday. The Bill's in the house. Victor Silva, BKG, Blueface, Kyle Lewis, Highballer, Oscar, Wingnut in the house. Someone threw your 7.4 in the dryer too long. What's up, Wingnut? Good to see you, man. James Lee, Joe Plains, Tower at Ray. Dude, it looks like I'm going to work, man. It looks like I'm going to work, so we'll see. I might see you on Saturday if you're around. But, all right, let's get this show on the road. I'm going to go ahead and mute that, turn that off, and we are ready to go. Yeah, we're SoCal'd out, Vodka. Here's the thing. I was also thinking if we do the Piaggio stream, I was going to do SoCal, but then I'm not going to. I think we should do Texas where it's freezing rain and just fly IMC. Who knows? I don't know. We can just take off at Gainesville, Texas, and go to, like, Love Field or something. I don't know. That'd be a real short flight. We got to fly in somewhere where it's icy cold. So, all right, let's hop into this airplane. Let's get this thing fired up. I sped. I fed myself, but I sped the time up in the sim to, I believe, 6:32 a.m. local. Right now, I think it's 2 or 3 or 4 a.m. tomorrow. So I have moved the sim time forward, so we're not flying at night. Let me make sure sim sounds are juiced. Yes, sim sounds are juiced. Right there. Good to go. All right. Now, I do know that these screens are going to be in what we call the full glitch configuration here when we are semi-dark. But we can fix that here with a little bit of tweaking. We'll tweak you. Let the airplane come to life here. Let's go ahead and turn off the integrals and then just crack those. That looks good. Same thing with the overhead. Good night. That's bright. Maybe we should just get the dome light on. Ah, there we go. All right, up the overhead. Crew supply, ground control, CVR test. Too late. Too early. Oh, there it goes. Boom. Captain, purse, captain. 380ers into line. Auto, nav, auto, arm U. Fire test 1. Fire test 2. Wingnut already checked the APU, so we're good there. Up the right-hand side, everything looks good. We'll clear this out. Oh, no, don't be doing this again. Am I on the wrong... I might have the wrong profile. Might have the wrong vodka profile in there. We'll have to see. That's a little bit too bright with that on bright. Let's go dim mode on that. All right. Niche hardware, exactly. No, it's been happening for everybody that doesn't even have niche hardware, so I know it's not just me. Let's go FMGC initialization flight plan request. We'll pull that in. SoCal. Callie Simmer, what's up? Good to see you. Still haven't fixed the alert box, Callie Simmer, but I do have a latte here next to me, courtesy of Callie Simmer and Miggs. Chrome is dead to me. Yeah, I haven't used well. I've still got Chrome installed, but I'm not going to be using it on the stream. Hopefully, we'll see. All right, we are PIA 357. If this stream crashes, I'm just going to Alt F4 my whole computer. Cost index 99. I should have checked to see what our actual flight plan. I got to use Chrome. Stand by. I got to use Chrome to check my flight plan. Please don't crash. Let's see. Sim brief. We filed 28. What? 28? That's super mid. Let's go 36. We're going to go 36, and we're planning 29 right for departure. So we're going to go 360. That's going in the box. We'll go flight plan departure 29 right out of here. And the departure fix is going to be... We don't have a SID, interestingly enough. We're going direct Sierra Papa. That doesn't seem right. No SIDs. Okay, I guess we're not doing a SID. I guess we're just going to go vector departure. All right, easy enough. 29, we'll insert that. Sierra Papa all the way out to OPSED. Going into OPSED, it's going to get a little bit more spicy. So, which runway do we land on? I always forget. I think it's 1-4 left is the juice approach. I believe it's 1-4 left, no star, and it's just going to be a centerline fix in there. So we're going to throw that in. Wow, that's an interesting flight plan. Sierra Papa J78 straight up to KNG, and then we're going to modify this in flight once we get up there. So we're going to leave that as is for now. Quick secondary initialization. Let's do VidP to VidP. VidP to VidP. Alexandra Bellini, thanks for the 10. Hey, Ice, my friend. Appreciate all of the support. Says, Crazy Gringo, are we going to depart from the runway today? Listen, that was classified. I was actually just checking. We talked about this last night. I was simulating O'Hare vintage operations, you know? So it was an intentional vintage operation stream, and I wanted to show you guys what it looked like to take off of the 3.2s or 3.1, whatever it used to be. So it was all intentional, nothing to see there. Thank you, Alexandra. Appreciate the support, though. Pretty nice day, 16 degrees. What's the altimeter? 29er, oops, wrong button. 29er, 9er, 4. 29er and 9er, 4. We'll throw you in there. Let me make sure live weather is on. Confirm. Yes, it is. Live future weather is set. All right, we'll go terrain up, VOR, constraint mode. Ooh, I need to get my mini FC working. Stand by. Can't be flying without mini FCU. Get you plugged in, turned on. Now, I think it works with the Fenix. I can't remember. I know it works with the Fenix, but it doesn't work with one of the variants. It might be the 319. Let's see. Nope. Here we go. It works with this one. So we're going all the way up to 36 is our new flight plan. That looks good. I got to deal with the brightness on these screens here until we are in, what is it called? Sim Twilight time. All right, let's go ahead and mass and balance. We're going to load the aircraft. And let's do just a 7-minute fast. While they're loading, let's go ahead and get the APU spooled up. Carlito, I just had some carnitas. Good to see you, Carlito. All right, here we go. Back in the Fenix. This is the first Fenix stream with the new AMD, so I'm kind of excited to see how it performs. Never had issues, knock on wood. Never had issues on my NVIDIA rig. Isn't Kitech no longer an airport? That is correct, Phil. Kitech is gone. Y'all see Delta CRJ date? Yep. Yeah. JJ, so I've been sent all the information about that. We'll talk about it in cruise. I had a well, if you were on XP stream last night, you got to see the juice early. I sent him a video that was sent to me, and then I also had a video, which I'm sure everybody's seen now, the airplane holding short. I had that video last night. I'm sure by now today it's all over the media, but the second video that I saw from the aircraft holding short, it actually didn't look like it hit that hard. Now, it still hit hard, but to me, in my, just dumb simmer opinion, I think that, that gear collapsed. I don't know if it was 100% due to the landing. I mean, even if you hit 800, 900 feet per minute, should that really collapse the gear? I don't know. It's going to be up to the CRJ. You would at least think these aircraft could handle one no-flare landing in their lifetime. So, I'm not sure. Yeah, the wing hit the ground because the gear collapsed. So, however it happened, I don't know. But one thing is factual, confirmed from video, is it was a right main touchdown. It was a gear collapse, right main. When the gear collapsed, the wing, typically what happens, if you shove the gear strut up into the wing, you can fracture the spar, which then weakens the wing. When the wing hits the ground, the wing shears off. Since one side of the fuselage no longer has lift, the other side lifts it up. That's why you see the left wing come up and roll it over. Roll it up over on its side. It is an absolute miracle that everybody survived that. When you see that video, it is absolutely insane that people, not only did they survive, they walked away from that. Like, everybody walked out of that aircraft, which is incredible. So, it's just an absolute miracle, man. All right, we'll get the APU bleed on. We'll simulate it's 3 minutes. We're in a hustle mode. We're going to go ahead and... Can I turn these into dim? Oh, annunciator lights don't dim. All right. Oh, actually, yeah, they did. They dimmed a little bit. Cool. All right. Reset that. I got to turn you down here, the ISIS. Well, but they also hit one wheel at 900 feet per minute. May not have collapsed if both wheels hit at the same time. Wingnut, and that's true, Wingnut. Yeah, it does look like they side load. I don't want to say side load is the wrong term, but they impacted that right main first and alone, it looks like. So a 900 average foot per minute on one main, would that collapse it? Probably. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the CRJ limit. So the only thing that I know is for the Airbus 320 series, in order for a hard landing report to be triggered, it has to be approximately, I wrote it down, I'll check it in cruise, 850 feet per minute and like 1.9 G or like 2.0 G with flaps extended. So if you have, or excuse me, 1.9 G with flaps extended, and then a little bit less than that if you're doing a zero flap, zero slat. But 875-ish feet per minute on an Airbus only triggers a load 15 hard landing report. That means there's no it's just a very minimal inspection. There's a separate landing which is upwards of 1,000 foot per minute and a little bit more G load, where they actually have to do a more in-depth structure scan. So if the Airbus can land at 1,000 feet per minute and not collapse the gear, I don't know what the CRJ is. There's got to be some limit in there, but remember when you think back to there was an Alaska that did the same thing in John Wayne. They hit hard, but not abnormally hard. The gear was just not up to its standards, and it collapsed. Where actually it went through the wing. It actually went through the wing strut or something, right? On that 7.3 wing nut, you probably know the details. But they landed hard, but not overly hard. The gear was not in tip-top shape, and it collapsed on them. So that could be, I'm just saying, that could be something to think about for this one too. So, all right, we are almost done boarding. I'm going to go to ground ceviches. Let's pull the chocks. Let's pull the GPU. Let's go to perf data. We're going to do 2.9 right, sync load sheet, prelim, sync live. That's almost done. We got to wait till the final is done. I'll pull out my Navigraph charts here. That looks good. And ground charts, actually, are they pre-starred? Ooh, they're not pre-starred for me. What happened there? Normally they're pre-starred. 10.9. 10.9, 10.9, 10.9. Jeez. Gandhi International, do you have enough 10.1-Z? They have 10.1 all the way up to like Papa. Wow. What letter is P in the alphabet? That's how many 10.1s they have. That means you have problems. All right, let's go day charts. We're going to go 2.9 right. Taxi out here. It's going to be, it looks like a Charlie taxi out full length for 2.9 right. All right, so that looks simple enough. Let's go back to our Fenix weight and balance. We are almost done with that. So let's go ahead and get fuel tank pumps are on. That looks good. APU bleed is on. Seatbelt sign is on. We'll get our terrain up on ND. Our flight plan is done. Progress page, we'll just put VidP in the box, VIDP. Perf data and NITB will leave you on this page right here. Block fueling has completed though, 17.3, and it is balanced in the tank. So 17.3 is set. We are looking good now, chat. Ooh, another Pakistani just slewed in over there. Why is EFB yellowish? Because it's that time of day in 2024 vodka where the sim doesn't know if it's daytime or nighttime, and all the brightness gets blown out. So wait about another 10 minutes, and then everything's going to be dark, and it'll be normal. It's a glitch in how, I don't know if it's the shaders or whatever. It has something to do with lighting in this sim. There's like a hard transition from night, quote-unquote, night mode to quote-unquote day mode. Yellow sim, get out of here. You should be used to it, yellow simmers. Maintenance people being fired? I don't know, man. I don't know. I do know the details of the crew. I won't release the names, but we'll talk about that in cruise. We'll get more hardcore into it up in cruise. Drew Smith, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, my man. Appreciate you. Very, very kind. Appreciate the 5 gifted memberships, sir. If you pick up a membership from Drew Smith, shout him out. Say a thank you. All right, mass and balance is done. Gosh dang it. Let's go back over there. We're going to send this to the McDo, send those final numbers over. That is successful. Sync final, sync live, calculate. 2.9 right, flaps 2, flex 53. We better hit 250 likes. Can we hit 250 likes for this? before takeoff so we can go packs off, please. If not, we're doing a 49, 62, 62 flap 2. Perf data 49, 62, 62 flap 2, flex 53. Remember, 250 likes, we'll go packs off, maximum juice. Let's come down here and accept the final load sheet and blast off the gate. Staying ahead of time, we got to stay ahead of the freezing rain. Let's go receive messages, load sheet. Ooh, we have one jump seater. Looks like Wingnut is scoping out the A320 series today, so we've got him on the jump seat. And we are ready to go. So we'll go back here, we'll go to ground ceviches. Go ahead and close the door, toggle the jetway, turn the beacon light on. Is there a CTAF here? So much room for activities. My inexpert opinion, wind shear low level causing a hard landing to the right. Main wind gust crosses, blow over, and the plane gets sideways to the wind. It's possible, Tony Johns. Was there wind shear being reported? Someone will have to ask. We'll dissect it more once we get airborne in cruise, because I actually kind of want to look at the latest reports. I haven't really looked at anything since last night and talking to my buddies, but I'd be curious to know all the latest information that you have. And I don't mind so much talking about this one as opposed to, because there's no fatal, right? If there was a fatal accident, I'm not just not my cup of tea. You know, I don't get good vibes speculating about stuff like that. But when it's something like this where we can really learn from it and, you know, hopefully prevent anything like that from happening in the future, which is going to be pretty hard to prevent any more accidents ever, but you get what I'm saying. All right, we are on 22-8 Gandhi traffic, Pakistan 357, going to push off gate 51, taxiing 29 right, Gandhi traffic. All right. Go to the ground ceviche page one more time for me here. Let's go ahead and connect the tug, please. Let's go Throttletek cam up and running. And cockpit to ground. Ground to cockpit, go ahead. Brakes release. Clear to push. Straight back, please. Copy that. Brakes release, clear to push. Straight back. There was one passenger in critical. Is there any update to them? I'm not sure. What happened to the in-up sticker? We fixed it, Leaper, and it didn't cost us $75. Isn't that amazing? We fixed our in-op sticker. We had an in-op thrust reverser. Ooh, we got a 777 going up to Skardu. I like this livery. This livery is pretty sweet, not gonna lie. Oh, no. I said straight back. Nashi. Yalla. Straight back. There we go. Language barrier with the tug driver. What scene is this? It looks like FS 2004. Get out of here, Felix. Get out of here. No, controlling it with the stick, I believe, is the fly-by-wire, which is pretty sweet. I only discovered that after multiple days or multiple sims of using their pushback tool. I really like it. I really like the fly-by-wire pushback tool when you use the stick to control it. Cockpit to ground brakes are push complete, set brakes. Brakes are set. Clear to disconnect. Show me the pin out front. Thanks for the push. We'll talk to you next time. You can see here we got no accumulator pressure. Let's go ahead and go electric pump on. We'll wait for the accumulator to rise up. JJ, that would be cool to have it on a tiller. There goes our accumulator pressure. All right, let's go ahead and turn engine 1. Engine mode to ignition start. Shh. Enjoy the startup sounds. Here we go. Turn off the cabin announcements in the EFB. Turn off the cabin announcements in the EFB right here. Sorry, Wingnut, I'm talking to myself. I didn't say much other than that, so I had my mic muted. Here we go, turn in 2. Sorry, Mr. Cheddar, thanks, I was muted, man. Hashtag there are pro streamers available elsewhere. Do I use SimFX? No, you're looking at default. This entire stream, the only add-on you're looking at is the Fenix 321. Default sim, default weather, default clouds, default airports. The only add-on is the Fenix 321, and I guess the FSLTL traffic. I'm really excited, though. I know I'm talking through the startup here, but I'm really excited for the 350 that they have the standalone effects, like the vapors and stuff. You don't need a SimFX. I think that's pretty cool. I was about to run out and buy this juice-looking airport. Oh my gosh. Alright, that's a good start. We'll go here, we'll go here. Are we flaps 1 or 2? I don't remember. Let's go 2 for juice and we'll fix it if it's not 2. Flaps are supposed to be config 2 up 0.8 on the trim. That's pretty high up there. Up 0.8 on the trim, that looks good. Flaps 2. Did we hit 250 likes yet? Not yet. Not yet. You have until we get to the runway to go packs off. All right, you can see here that I've went past the civil nautical twilight, or autical twilight, whatever it's called. So now my screens are dim, but now it's going to be much better. All right, got any traffic to Pakistan 357 taxi 2 down to right. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Lights on, brakes released. Outside view. Hiccups. Let's go. I've seen these guys taxiing around on YouTube. These Pakistani guys taxi crazy. Crazy fast. If you don't hit the like button, you're dead to me. True story. I guess we're taking Charlie all the way down. Let's go back to our jet page here. Yeah, we'll take Charlie, which is the inner, all the way down behind the Bills Mafia triple down there. I saw they actually made damage model of the fuselage like bird strikes. Yes, VFD. Isn't that cool, man? That looks awesome. I use the MFG Crosswind rudder pedals. All right, let's do our flight control checks. Here we go. Flight controls. Full up. Why are we on the engine page? Flight controls. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. That looks good. Auto brakes max. TO config is checked. Auto. TARA. Boom. Boom. Squawking 2000. There's no auto ATC squawk. Let's get back on center line there. What time in the sim? Right now it's 0124 Zulu. So what's that? Oh, that's not correct. That's not the time I wanted. It says sim time. How could 55? How could the minutes be different between Zulu and local? Is that possible? How could it be 0655 but 0125 Zulu? That is possible? Wow. Okay. So it's like an extra half hour somewhere. I didn't know it was, yeah, there's a 30-minute time zone. I didn't realize India was a 30-minute offer. Okay, cool. Well, it's 6:55 in the sim right now. Should I wind it back so we watch the sunrise, or should we leave it as is? Nepal and North Korea have a 15-minute offset. Wow, that's crazy. Learn something new every day, man. I mean, I knew they existed. I guess I just didn't think. I mean, well, now that I'm thinking about where India is, you know, my Texas geography is not that great. You should know that by now. We're gonna roll with it as is. Why is Fly Navy texting me? Oh man, it's funny. Yeah, I'll drop the deets. I won't drop the names though. Let me do a quick check. Today is scheduling mayhem day, by the way. Oh my gosh, all 3 of my requests were approved. There's no need for me to be doing scheduling mayhem today. Wow. That is, I haven't had that happen in a very long time. All 3 of my requests, actually technically all 4. But that is a win for today, chat. Got some cool overnights. Wingnut, I got a Seattle coming up on the 2nd. Short one though, I don't know if you're going to be around. I got a Seattle, LA, Fort Myers, Charlotte, and another LA. 2 3-days and a 2-day. Alright, well that's good. Back to the sim. Hope you guys were taxiing there because I wasn't paying attention. Looks like we're still on center line. That's awesome. That just put me in a great mood. Very rare that happens. So on scheduling mayhem day, while I call it that, is all seniority doesn't matter. On scheduling mayhem day, it's basically any trips that are left uncovered. It's first come, first serve. So as soon as it opens up, the system gets really laggy and people bought the heck out of it, and you never get anything because someone always has faster internet than you, and you got several thousand people making requests at the same time, right? So it's very hit or miss. I mean, I'll be happy if I get 1. Sometimes 2 requests are extremely awesome. This is the runway right here, right? Let's confirm this. But today, I got 3 of 3, and I got 1 on my other request, which was kind of different. So technically 4 of 4. All right, I guess. Oh, I don't want to go full length. We're going to cut off Bill's Mafia. We're going to go here. Gandhi traffic. Pakistan 357, departing runway 29 right. Gandhi. Did we hit 250 likes? No, we only hit 170? Oh, man. All right. 321, and we're not doing a PAX off takeoff? You guys are super mid.
Gandhi traffic, Pakistan 1028, line up runway 29 right. Gandhi.
You guys are super mid. I thought at least the 321 would get you to be get you to hit that Toga button. All right, we are confirmed. This is the runway. 29 right, confirmed. All right. Nose forward on the stick. So let's do it from outside view. What the heck? Let's do it from outside view. Spool them up 50. Let's get the camera set right. Spool them up 50. Let's go. Yoga's in chat. Here we go. Oh, yeah. That's so awesome. That would have been so much better with PAX off, but you guys are dead to me. Here we go. Thrust set. 100 knots. Check. Man, we got to come here in the summertime when it's like 50 degrees. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Navin. Fly with. Ooh, buddy. Fenix is the best aircraft in simulation. I'm sorry, y'all. This is the best aircraft to graze flight simulators across all platforms. It's just that good. Get ready for the reduction too. Thrust reduction. Oh yeah. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Let's go ahead and go F speed. Flaps 1, speed checks, flaps 1. Alright, where's our first waypoint? Let's see if we can't get going in the right direction. It's off to our right. Bank angle check to the right. So much better compared to the 330, I agree, man. A lot of smog down there, too. I don't even have frame gen turned on. Should I turn frame gen on? I forgot to turn my frame gen on. Is it standard already? Alright, STDs are set once, twice, and thrice. We'll take it direct to Sierra Papa, execute. Execute LNAV, just kidding. This airplane was made in the 21st century. Well, not quite, but you don't have to hit LNAV after you go direct somewhere. I need to turn the sim down so I can hear myself think. Let's go to ANR mode, engaged. Here comes S-speed. Flaps 0. After takeoff checklist. Wow. Alright, let's get on course here. You can see now, see how my PFDs are all like a couple of contrasting issues with the lighting. But we're getting it dialed in now. We are thrust climb, open climb, navin up to flight level 360. Get terrain off ND. We don't need you anymore.
955, Mark, got it.
Let's go ahead and switch over. Oh, we're staying on 22.8. That looks good. Straight line from here on out all the way to Sierra Papa. So let's go ahead and engage Autopiloto 1. When you switch from managed speed to selected speed and arm the approach mode, is it better to go back to managed speed? Yes. Well, no. You should fly managed speed on approach. But it's very situational, Leaper. You should fly your... Think of it this way. 2,000 feet, gear down, managed speed. Nobody cares what you do up until that point. Just make sure 2,000 feet above touchdown zone, gear down, managed speed. Now, the only time you would be in selected speed on a final approach is if maybe ATC is giving you a grief because your ground speed mini is 60 knots fast and you're eating up the guy in front of you. But then you got to be careful. Got to be careful when you start doing those things. All right, we're getting ready for a breakout. Let's go ahead and turn the lights off real quick. Lights are coming off. Forward call. Do we do wing view break? Oh, no. No, I just hit the wrong button. I just reset the time. I just reset the time, chat. Oh, no. I reset the time to a different time. What time was it? It was the 19th at 6:55-ish. So I have a set current time for career mode, since career mode won't let you fly in real time. So when I bound it and I accidentally just hit it, I'm going to have to change that binding because it's right next to my view key. Randuxy, not yet. See, now it's got to reload in all the weather and stuff. It's alright. That's what I thought. That's the way of us taught tutorial vids. I asked because I saw a video of a pilot explaining managed speed on approach. Yeah, Leaper, and the thing is, managed speed on like coming through 10,000 feet is fine on an arrival, it's going to meet the speed restrictions if there's speed restrictions, but if you fly through the decel point, it's going to ignore the speed restrictions. And in the US anyway, it's pretty rare that you fly an entire arrival with 0 vectoring or 0 ATC speed adjusting. So it's common practice for us at 10,000 feet to activate and confirm the approach phase and select speed, and then just fly the rest of the speeds manually. So if you have a like a 210 speed coming up, you just manually select 210. But there's nothing wrong with doing it in managed speed the whole way. It's just you have to be cognizant as if you fly through that decel point, because now it's going to start going to green dot, wanting you to extend flaps, and if there's a restriction, it's going to ignore it. And if you extend said flaps, it's just going to slow again. So you're going to be the only one doing 160 knots, 150 knots on the arrival going into Atlanta, and they're going to read you the riot act because you're not doing 250 to 5 out. Tyson, situations are what? Situational. Does your company restrict manual flying? Nope, not at all. Matter of fact, we just had something that said, encourage the use of no flight director takeoff if the workload permits, so you can get better at hand flying. I had an FO. So when I was a brand new captain, we're taking off out of Pensacola. No, was it Pensacola? I think it was Pensacola. There's no SID there. It's kind of similar to New Orleans. No SID, just a vector departure. He's like, "Hey, Cap." And mind you, I mean, I'm brand new. I'm like, this is maybe like my second trip after upgrade. And he's like, "Hey, can I practice no flight director takeoff?" I'm like, sure. Let's see it. And I don't know why, it was just so weird, because it's something I had never done other than maybe once in the sim on my initial type or something. But he wanted to do the no flight director takeoff, and it's fine, but it makes the pilot monitoring has a lot more work to do in a no flight director takeoff. But it's not that bad when you're departing somewhere like Pensacola or New Orleans or anywhere there's no SID, no speed restriction. It's just a heading out, dude. You're literally just flying the Airbus like a 172 at that point. Just pitch and power, level off, climb. So we should have done. That would have been a good. I wish you would have asked me that earlier. We could have done a no flight director takeoff out of Delhi, because this would have been the perfect departure to do that. Why would you take off without flight directors? Just for practice TV flight. Sometimes you'll have an MEL that restricts the flight director use on takeoff, so you won't be able to use them. So it's good to at least see it before you have to do it for real, right? You don't want your first ever no flight director takeoff to be out of LaGuardia on the Whitestone climb in IMC because you have an MEL. I'm like, well, this is going to suck. Man, I was totally vibing. I think the time was off when I hit the time button. I don't know what I set it to now, but it's coming back. The sun shall rise again. Did you have any issues getting on 24 today? Nope. I heard on Reddit 24 server's been down. No, Medicaid, I haven't had any issues, my man. I just got a notification that my pew-pew was delivered. I don't remember what you asked. Sorry, got distracted there. But no issues, Matty K. I did hear somebody in the Discord was saying that the Windows update, there's a new Windows Update 11 or a beta or something, and it really borked his system. I think Turk was saying that. So, I don't know if maybe that is related. Is it the same one from last week? No, I did something else. I got something else. I have a new project now. That project was completed, and I got one more project. Also, why I decided I should probably go to my trip tomorrow, or Thursday rather. All right, after we're gonna fix this disco here once we get up to TOC here at 36,000. Really? We're never gonna get up there at this rate. Let's go ahead and select speed. Let's do 300. What is our optimum and max? Optimum 36, max 38. So let's do this. Opset 366 miles. We're going to pull the speed back. We're going to do a selected speed here to help increase the climb rate. Now she's really juicing out. If PC crashes after Windows Update, run DISM and repair the install online. Alright, there you go. Abdilo, what's up, man? Has anyone had issues with 24 with the ILS? No, what do you mean by that, Abdilo? Hey, Abdilo. Oh, you know what? Maybe we should fly in Puerto Rico in the Piaggio. Maybe we should do a Piaggio flight in the islands, man. Well, that's the wrong island, but, you know. I'm just juiced that I got all 3 of my trips that I wanted to swap out. It should be 7:10 as you were checking the time 15 minutes ago. 7:10 in the sim. Right now it's 7:02. Okay, so we're only 8 minutes behind. That's fine. We'll leave it as is. I don't like to keep changing it because they still have that issue where it's linked to the weather. So if every time you change the time, it goes to either historical weather. I don't know what it does when you go forward in time. Predictive weather? Puerto Rico to St. Martin? Maybe flight sim guy. Leaper says, have you decided on building a full 320 cockpit in the home? No, I have not. I've seen some super cool flight deck solutions, but pretty cool 320 Leaper. I mean, it looks amazing. I would love to have it. I even thought about how I could turn it into something for the channel. So get a half of a cockpit set up or a full cockpit set up in the HQ, because I have a very large office space. I could easily fit a cockpit in here. And then offer like live flights with V1, you know, and have people come out and fly the sim. I don't know how that would work out. I'm sure there's a lot more to that, but it was just a, you know, twiddling my thumbs, thinking out loud kind of conversation I was having with someone. I was like, what if I had a cockpit in the HQ and did streams on it and stuff, just like we do here, but then also have like a, you know, offer tickets is the wrong word, but you know, you can schedule appointments or whatever to come and do a flight with me, and I'll be your check airman, so to speak, you know, and we could either stream it live or you could do it just, you know, one-on-one, like an only pilots. What's stopping me? Dude, it's talk about a financial investment, man. Getting a full sim setup is what, going to be 50, 60, 70K. That is a serious investment that I don't know if the return on investment would be worth it, and or if it's necessarily the best time for that right now, spending that kind of money, having a new baby coming out in May. So I'd have to be on premium pay to fly with you. Yeah. Those full cockpits don't stream well. They're really hard to get the cockpit and screens. You end up not being able to see the cockpit well. Screens are too much. John, and yeah, and I understand where you're coming from. And I was thinking almost like a, not like stream there, but just have stream from a video of what's happening. So have like the camera behind the seats, so you could kind of you would see the interaction and the communications. Then maybe have a camera across the glare shield to see the selected stuff. You know. Hey Jay, Bill Primo wants his check ride. Oh man. Thanks AJ for the $3 super chat. Just do it. Don't worry about money. Trust me. Yeah. Yeah. You can't. What are those like memes? It's like Gordon Ramsay says you can't retire without the gun. So just go buy the gun. Or I don't know. I can't remember how they go. Captain, I hear you. I spent so far $8K on my home lab. I'm going crazy. Should have taken 2 vacations. You can't take the money with you when you die. Exactly. Yeah. Uh-oh. Is Miss V1 here? Oh, Miss V1's here. What's going on? Hang on. Yeah, we were just talking about spending 60, 70K on a full Airbus cockpit in the office here. What do you think? All right. As you guys watch the climb out juice here, this is really cool. Oh, got another alert. Stand by. What do you need to do? I need to refresh this. Alright. I'm just looking at some other things here. I gotta I'm trying to pull up my Skardu chart so I can show y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Skardu. Alright. I need to figure out what the fix is for coming in from the same way we always come in from, which is, I guess, would be the northwest? Southwest? En route, TOD, phase 1, phase 2, BIREB. Alright, here we go. You should be able to see this now. Miss V1 says it sounds like a responsible decision. Yeah, it'd be cool to have Miss V1 fly with me. No, Maddie K, I was pulling out my Skardu charts for you here. So this is what we're going to be looking at. We're going to go direct to, I'm going to load up Delta BIREB first. And then we're going to do the visual procedure for 1-4, which we're going to come over here. So centerline fix, SD, you go out and we're going to split the 3 mountains. There's 2 mountains and then to make the turn and you come back around. So it's centerline fix, so BIREB and Sierra Delta is what we need to add in the box. So let's come in here. Flight plan, we're going to go BIREB. And then where did I add that? Did I add that in the right spot? Yep. Yeah, it looks so juicy out there. BIREB and then Sierra Delta, which is the NDB at 314 miles away. We'll insert U. Alright, now we're going to leave the centerline fix in there after the disco. That's how we want it to look. Alright, we want to cross Sierra Delta, I think at like what, 11,500? We're going to make that at 11.5. We'll insert U. And now we go to plan mode, zoom it down. There we go, that looks good to me. BIREB Sierra Delta. Cool. Alright. Good enough. Mach 7.2. Let's increase Mach 7.4 in the climb out here. Al W, what's up, man? Appreciate the $5 super chat. He says, I turned up the heat. It was 54 when I left for my eye exam. Got done. It's 33 and I forgot my jacket. Al W, I know, dude. I'm monitoring the freezing rain, too. I really want to do the second stream today, but I may be stuck. I don't know if we're going to get freezing rain out here. Driving home would be a little bit challenging. Freezing rain. So I'm keeping an eye on it, Al. Stay warm, my man. Here's the other thing. So I have to get up at 2:30 in the morning on Thursday. It's going to be negative 15 with the wind. Negative 15. It's going to be like 10 degrees normal. What is this? What is that? I don't even know if my truck is going to start. Do I need to plug in my truck if it's going to be static air of like 0 degrees Fahrenheit? When do you have to plug in your diesel? Do you have to buy everything separately for a sim deck, or is there a full package? What do you mean, for a flight sim deck? I'm not the one to ask about that, man, unfortunately. Just stop drinking all the frou-frou coffees and you can afford it. Hey, man, coffee is a way of life. What's final decision on 7900 versus 5090? It appears that 5090s are unable right now, so I'm sticking with my XTX. Unless Denali B can pull off a miracle and get one at MSRP, and I might make the switch. But I don't know. It seems to be running pretty good right now, so fingers crossed. Miss V1 says, listen, I think if enough interest existed and he can make the money back, I'd say go for it. I'll run the desk, in the spare time. Yeah, exactly. In all your spare time, you can. Yeah, we do have a welcome desk out front that is currently unoccupied. Turned into like a a sim B&B, a sim and B, sim and breakfast. That would actually be pretty cool. A sim and breakfast, because there's a really good breakfast place literally next door. And then there's a bar on the other side. So you could do a bourbon and sim or a sim and breakfast. Sim and chill. Nah, Steven, that might have some connotations on it that I don't want to bring. Just come to Florida at 79 degrees. Well, Flight Sim guy, that's where I'm headed. I'm headed to Miami on Thursday, so it's Dallas, Miami. But then Cleveland. Gross, dude. I gotta go to Cleveland, overnight in Cleveland. I haven't been to Cleveland since 2016. I spent Thanksgiving there, and it was miserable. Do you have halon at the office? I don't know. You mean like a halon extinguisher? You can get a helicopter once, so Miss V1 could teach helicopter stuff. There you go. Yeah, Miss V1, all your helicopter skills that you have since you told me you fly helicopters. All right, we're leveling off at 36,000 feet. Smooth ride seatbelt sign is coming off. Wow, yeah, that looks good. Beautiful. Good morning. All right. Let me make sure I'm not missing out on any other juicy trips. What? Dang you. All right. It's crazy. There's a day trip on the 16th of March. Oh, it happens to be a Miami turn. It's a perfect day trip. Out and back to Miami, back at 11 p.m. Problem is, I can't do it because I have a tournament that day. It's literally the only day in March that I can't pick up a trip, and there's just a perfect trip sitting there waiting for the pickings. I cannot believe it. And I don't want to miss that tournament because it's on my home lake. 9th of March. What's on the 9th? Ew, back-to-back red eyes? Gross. No, thank you. Count me out. All right, put that away. Alexandra Bellini, thank you for the $20 hey ice. Appreciate you. Or 20 hey ice. Miss V1 is the greatest. Behind every crazy gringo, there's a great woman. Cheers to you and the family. Cheers, man. I appreciate you, Alexandra Bellini. That is true. Without Mrs. V1, I would not be here for sure, man. She is the rock that runs the whole crazy gringo family. So, thank you for the support. Really appreciate you, Alexandra Bellini. You may need to look at the software licensing side, fusing with others they might deem this as commercial use, big bucks if they do. Yeah, Andy Roberts, that's absolutely, yeah, that's another thing too, because then it might be commercial use, and trust me, I know about that with Brunner's, like, well, if you're going to be using it for this, to buy the CLS software commercial license was like, I don't know, what, $1,500 for the commercial software, so I could only imagine the same thing would apply to, you know, building a home sim and et cetera, so, yep. Behind every dumb man, there's a smart woman keeping him from getting himself killed. True story, Steven. True story, my man. Miss V1 used to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, drive me to DFW freight ramp, the UPS ramp. I'd go fly, come back. She'd pick me up at 11 p.m., bring me back to the apartment, get up 2 a.m., same time as me, drive me every 5 days a week, and then she'd work 9 to 5 on top of that. So, while I was done flying by 11 a.m., she was working 9 to 5. Four more likes to 250. Yeah, we far surpassed the 250 like goal. He's been super mid on the likes lately. I'm gonna have to stop streaming. V1 blink twice if you need help. Nah, man. She's very experienced. She's very experienced whirlybird pilot. Yep. All right. Did I hear about Delta CRJ? Yes, I did. I'm sure y'all saw the videos by now. Wow, look at all that haze down there. That looks incredible. So, some more information that I have about the crew of the CRJ. Nabil, this is real life, my man. The captain, allegedly, now this is all unconfirmed unless what I'm about to say has been confirmed, but it's from a very reliable source. very, very reliable, so I don't have any reason to not believe it. But the captain, to my sources, was a very experienced, I think 17 or 18-year captain, was a check airman and sim instructor who needed currency. So even though you're an instructor, how that works is like if you're running the sim, you're not going to be flying the line very much, right? Because you're always in the sim, you're always doing training. So, but you still have to maintain a currency in the airplane. So, lacking currency, needs a currency. There's no confirmation if it was a trip that he picked up or was assigned to him, whatever. But to my information source says he needed it for currency. So keep that in mind. The first officer was on pairing letter like P, or it was how is it worded? 20th revision or something? Hold on, let me get this right so I don't spread fake news. Revision 11. So what happens is when you have a pairing number, let's say your pairing number is Delta 401. So you're operating for Delta Airlines, the pairing number is 401. If let's say that during that trip they schedule something and change, take it easy, babe, I'll talk to you in a little bit. They change, maybe they cancel one leg, they reschedule you. They put a revision on it. So now it's pairing 401 Alpha or 401 Bravo Charlie, or it'd be 401 and then like revision 1, revision 2. This first officer was on revision 11 of the pairing. So she had been run through the ringer with scheduling. I don't know any details about what was being scheduled, but I just know it was revision number 11 on the pairing. So that's interesting. They'll have to take a good look at the scheduling practices. And it was a 5-day trip. So it was a 5-day trip for the first officer. I don't know if it was the same for the check airman, but it was a 5-day pairing for the first officer. Also, according to my source, says the first officer had been hired by the company a year prior to receiving the type rating. So it was January of 2024 was the alleged hire date, and the type rating date was alleged January 2025. So a brand new type rating a year post being hired. Not sure what that again, this is all alleged. It's not been truly confirmed by anybody else other than my source says. But that's an interesting piece of information as well. Is it because there was maybe some leave in there? It could be anything. You know, you could go on mill leave during training. That's going to set you back. Could be personal leave. Could be a number of things that would delay your type rating. But a year is a significant delay from a type rating. I don't have any confirmation on training records, so I'm not going to speculate to that. I have heard some speculation, but since I can't confirm it through multiple sources, I'm not going to speak about it. But it's interesting that the type ride was a year after hire date. Also, the type ride was last month, right? So it was a brand new type ride, which would make the first officer a low time. So when you're low time, under 100 hours, typically there's some type of regulation where you can only land in certain weather conditions because you would be considered green on the jet. Now, what happens is if you're with a check airman, those restrictions don't necessarily apply. So, for instance, let's say I'm in training on the Airbus and I'm on OE, or initially call it IOE, Initial Operating Experience. So you are flying with a training captain, a check airman, and you have less than 100 hours on the airplane. Obviously, it's maybe your first, second, third trip, who knows. And the limitations for low time first officers do not apply when you're with a check airman, because they want to see you demonstrate that you can land in 20 knot crosswind, 25 knot crosswind, contaminated runways, etc. They have been trained to be proficient in keeping the environment safe while that happens. Now, if take the same scenario where, okay, I just got off of initial operating experience, but I have 60 hours on the airplane, and I'm flying with a captain who's not a training captain or a check airman. There is a rule in place where you cannot be green on green. So you can't be flying with a 100-hour time on type captain and a 100-hour time on type first officer. You can't have green on green. That would be considered green on green. Somebody has to be over 100 hours if someone is at 100 hours, or if the other pilot is at 100 hours. In that scenario, the limitations would apply. So if the first officer is 50 hours, the winds are 25 knot crosswind, blowing snow, contaminated runway, even if it was the first officer's leg to fly, you would not be legal to perform that landing until you reached 100 hours and got off of your low time situation. So that's just a little bit of additional information on that. Again, I do not know how much flight time the first officer had. I don't know if that was a factor or not. And again, there could be SOPs in place at that airline that differ slightly. I'm just painting with a broad brush about some of that information. Roscoe, good to see you, my man. 38 months of support. Has Miss Few granted dispatch release for Expo yet? Oh yeah, man. Roscoe, she's all about it, man. She actually is the one that's booked the tickets and everything for me. So she absolutely, man. I'm hoping it's going to be a pretty sweet show. So I got to look at how I'm going to get out there. I don't know if I'm going to Boston or up to PVD. We'll see. In light of everything, I don't know if I'm going to be if I want to get on a CRJ up to Providence. I might just fly into Boston and drive. In minus 25 weather, if you get decided or de-iced, you still need to use engine anti-ice. If you get de-iced, yeah, you would still use engine anti-ice, because if you get de-iced, that means there's precipitation. So if there was no precipitation, you wouldn't have to get de-iced, and you wouldn't have to use engine anti-ice. But if you are getting de-iced, that means there's precipitation, so you would indeed use engine anti-ice as well. Was she the pilot flying? I do not know. That is, I do not have confirmation on that, Pills Mafia. I don't know who the pilot flying was during that crash. Do not know. I've wondered, when you're flying a round trip, do you take the same plane to and from? Can it be turned? Oh, Pilot Mitchell, it depends greatly, man. Depends greatly on the pairing number, and it depends greatly on that trip. We like, as pilots, we like those trips where you keep the airplane, but it's very possible that you swap. Very possible. We used to have a pairing out of Dallas that was like, where'd we go? Dallas, Denver, or no, Dallas, Vegas, Denver? I can't remember. It was a three-legger. Let's say I think it was Dallas, Vegas, Denver, Dallas. And you had to change planes at every single stop. So it was just like, it just makes it kind of an extra little wrench in your side. Oh, you got to change planes here. Oh, you got to change planes here, because even though you may be on time, that plane coming in may not be on time. So now your day trip just got a whole lot longer because your inbound has a 2-hour delay coming from somewhere where the weather's bad. So yeah, it just depends greatly, man. Depends very greatly. What do I mean by pairing? That's just the word we use for trip. So I think what are the popular term for flight deck to sim over there in Euroland? He calls it what does he call it? Not pairings. They call it. I heard him talking about it. Sequence, maybe. I don't know. Just a trip. Think of pairing as a trip. A tour, maybe. Trips, pairings. Legs, rotation, yeah, rotation, sequence, those are other words, interchangeable. Legs and sector refer to the flights on any given day. So you could have a pairing with 3 sectors or 3 legs on day 1, 2 legs on day 2, 1 leg on day 3, or any combination thereof. Does the crew ever change planes? Yep, sometimes you change planes too, man. Yeah, sometimes you play, and that's also I changed planes and I left a perfectly good plane and now I got a plane with no APU and a lav that's in op. So, yep, All right, we are about to make the turn from KNG to Del Duh. Let me see, or I think we're going to, what, Byreb? We're going direct to Byreb first. According to my information, Byreb, I'm trying to see if there's an altitude for Byreb. That would be a good idea to go to. We have to put a hold over Byreb because we need to be in the proper inbound course to descend, or else we'll be in the terrain. Distance total, I want to say Byreb's at like 14 thou or something. Let's put a hold over Byreb. So we're going to go lateral vision, hold, right turns, inbound course at Byreb. We want it to be Byreb is at 17.3, or no higher than 17.3. Distance between Byreb and CF is 12 miles. Let's call it 140 inbound. We'll do 140 inbound. And we'll do a 1 minute leg. We'll do 10-mile legs. We'll insert that. There we go. So we have to do a turn at the hold at Byreb to get us sequenced facing the right direction. We also want to put an altitude at Byreb. We're going to put an altitude constraint of 17,500. We're going to insert that. 17.5. We'll set 17.5 on the mini FCU. So we get ready for TOD. Just still a little ways out. So 17.5 is set. I think this is a delay report because I messed with the time. AOC, receive messages. Yeah, Pakistani ops. We're looking good. All right. Wow, look at that. Yes, yes. Where's XP at? Male voice was working the radio, right? It was, McAllen. Actually, I haven't heard it. Is there a Vast Aviation I can listen to? Because I think somebody said there was. I have not listened to any Vast Aviation stuff about it yet. I'll be curious. Vast Aviation CRJ crash. It's in the Discord. Here we go. Alright, I'm going to play the audio only.
Toronto Tower, Endeavor 4819, I'm back. Number 23. Endeavor 4819.
Actually, I can show you this like this. Cool. Can I go theater mode? Cool.
Toronto Tower, wind 270, 23, gust 33, clear to line on 823. You might get a slight bump in the glide path. There'll be an aircraft in front of it.
So this is I was talking to XP about this. This is a misleading text here from Vast Aviation. Sometimes you just have to have the ear for aviation communication. He says you might get a slight bump, not a side bumping on glide path. He says you might get a slight bump. And he says because there'll be an aircraft in front of it. I think he said in front of you. And I don't know if that means that somebody in front of them. This could mean a variety of things. It could mean that the distance between the aircraft in front of him and his position is a little bit closer than he likes, so it's not quite wake turbulence, but he's like, yeah, you might get a slight bump. Or, and I think the more likely scenario is people were complaining of turbulence or bumps on the glide path going down onto runway 23, so he's passing along that information. Remember, we just did the green dot on this about the we just did the green dot on this on passing information along to the pilot. So that could be Option 2. Option 3 would be like what Roscoe is saying, is this could mean there's somebody crossing the runway and it's going to deflect the signal for the ILS. So on legitimate ILS operations, and this is kind of like this is a very rare thing to be heard from the tower. Normally they just don't tell you. But if they're on the ILS and the traffic is crossing the runway, they're going to cross the glide slope antenna, it could deflect the glide slope a little bit where the airplane would oscillate. This used to be a problem in Philly on 27 right for years until they made the loop around on the backside. So anytime you were landing on 27 right, airplanes going to 27 left to take off, they'd taxi across 27 right and you'd get a big bloop in the glide path. So by an aircraft crossing the runway. So that is also an option. Do I think any one of these three possible scenarios that he's getting at here mean anything to the crash outcome? No, I don't. I think it's just benign information. It's just another day. It was pretty, the visibility was good, right? So did he actually say, what did he say? He was on the ILS, or did he say he's on the visual?
Toronto Tower, Endeavor 48.
He's on the ILS 2-3.
ILS 2-3. Endeavor 48.
So yeah, he's on the ILS 2-3. So it's any one of those three. It probably is the latter, being that it's Canada and they do things kind of weird like that. So yeah, ILS interference. Yep, critical area. So when the ILS is in use down to minimums, you'll see the ILS critical area hold short bars. The ILS critical area hold short bars are different, and they're further back from the runway hold short bars. You're familiar with the two solid lines and the two dashed lines, right? For the runway hold short, the ILS critical areas are two solid lines with vertical bars in between them. And you'll see an ILS critical area or ILS crit sign next to it. And technically, if the ILS is in use, unless otherwise specified, you're supposed to hold short of the ILS critical area. Or it might be in the ATIS, hold short of the ILS critical area. But I don't think it was a factor. They had to go to the minimum, so that's why it was unprotected glide slope. But again, all of this I don't think applies to
19 Toronto Tower, wind 27023,
what
gust
happened.
33, clear to line on 23.
Gust 2-3, or at 2-3, gust 3-3.
You might get a slight bump in the glide path, there'll be an aircraft in front of it.
Clear to land, 2-3, Endeavor 48.
Yeah, and because he does say, when I have to listen to it and not read the text, because when I read the text, your eyes see the words on the screen, and they're not necessarily always correct to what's actually being said. He says there's going to be an aircraft in front of it, so it would be, in my opinion, somebody's crossing the ILS critical area or somebody's crossing the runway. That's, in my opinion, what he's referring to here. CRJ 900 LR up from Donut Land to Toronto. This was the METAR, 6 miles. Yeah, so 270 at 2.8, gust 3.5. We factor the crosswind component. It's around 19 knots, I think, for runway 23. So there's definitely a crosswind. Is it an unmanageable crosswind? Not with these published winds. Now, was there some crazy gust of wind? It's very possible. We don't know. We'll get that data from the prelim report. But a 19-knot crosswind component is not necessarily, something that's going to cause an accident, right? It's kind of another day at the office. So 6 miles, runway 24 left, 3,000, vertical 6,000, slant uniform, unlimited. What does slant uniform mean? Unlimited? Blowing snow, broken 3,400, -9, -4, 299.3, remark, CU6, sea level pressure 14.9. All right. There's the incident.
4543 ground, runway 24 data, scout altimeter 2993. Standby.
We need crash fire rescue on the runway. We need emergency services, runway 23.
Yeah, we're on it. We have to call it going out.
So that's it, right? There's no other communication.
Flight 1 minute back. I got no traffic here, so just.
I don't really want to put you anywhere near there. Is there?
So there's really nothing else to listen to for that. So if the male voice is the pilot on the radio, my source tell me that it was a male and a female, which would lead the first officer to be the pilot flying, because we wouldn't hear her voice. Normally, in a normal scenario, the pilot monitoring is going to be working the radios. Right. Now, it's possible that you may have to check on or something, you know, maybe there's something else going on. Maybe they're in the middle of an announcement or flight attendant called up real quick telling you something's going on real quick or this, and they shouldn't be calling you, you know, at less than 1,000 feet or really below 10,000 feet unless it's something out of the ordinary that needs to be conveyed. Then you may pick up a radio call while you're flying and let the pilot monitoring talk to the cabin crew. But kind of an oddball situation there. Not necessarily standard. So, but yeah, fairly certain Vast Aviation is not a native English, hence the slight translation errors. Yeah, well, it's not only him. It's not, I've seen a lot of ATC videos where you'll see what people think they heard. They'll write the text out, and I'm like, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. But it's very close, but unless you are constantly speaking the aviation jargon, you may miss it. So, but yeah, what is his name? Victor does a wonderful job over there, Vass. Feel like there's something new every day. Yeah, the heli flying nearby. Yeah, landed to help. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, they rerouted him. Yeah, Adam, Chino, we went over all that, my man. Just remember, y'all heard it here first. But, man, the video of that plane, the video from the runway hold short bar is insane. Insane in the fact that I can't believe people survived that. It's incredible that that was a survivable accident. Got the hiccups now. It's like trying to read doctor's handwriting. Exactly. What are the chances that someone's recording it too? I know, J-Foot. I know, man. It's like, well, when it first happened, I was in the Discord voice, and Canadian was there, and he's like, dude, my friend just sent me this from Toronto Airport. And it's like, what? No way. So, yeah, Delta CRJ. And so I had heard it first there. Nothing was popping off on my pilot chats. And then, you know, shortly an hour later, maybe 30 minutes later, it was pretty much everywhere. And I was thinking, how is there no video of this yet? There's always a video. There's always a video. And sure enough, by late last night, I had 3 videos. I shared one with XP. Then I saw the one from the aft. The view from behind, where they're looking from the fence line from behind, the airplane comes over the top. That one initially looked like they smashed real hard. The last video that came out where you see the airplane going left to right, I mean, it's a hard landing, but it doesn't look like snap the main, you know, like collapse the main and snap the wing off type of hard landing. But, you know, it could be deceiving. The angle could be deceiving. So I'm not saying that's not what happened. I feel like I've seen harder videos on YouTube of CRJ's landing where it doesn't happen that way. But yeah, AJ, the security camera from behind was very misleading at that angle. Yeah, the one from behind, that angle made it look like they smashed in there, you know, 1,200, 1,500 feet per minute. The one from the right just kind of looks like they didn't flare. So people asked too, is there an illusion landing on snow? Yes, there is. Blowing snow typically can be kind of interesting to maintain center line when you have a very strong crosswind and there's blowing snow across the pavement, because you see the snow moving, say, right to left, but you're trying to maintain lateral control center line. That can be a little bit challenging. As far as your depth perception, I don't know if the runway was plowed. I think it is, because the taxiway was plowed that you could see from where the other airplanes were. So I'm assuming the runway was plowed and they would have been able to see where the runway is. So I don't really think that played a big role. But I mean, the good news is the pilot survived, so we will be able to hear exactly what they say about it, because I'm sure they're being interviewed right now. During an aircraft incident or accident like that, the first thing that happens is the crew will be drug tested, and then they will be held for questioning. NTSB's got to make first contact. They'll have union representation there, company representation, and then when all of those boxes have been checked, they then will be released to go home or whatever it may be. Did they land off the paved surface? No, I don't think they did. I think they landed on the runway. It was a buckled, a fuselage United 7.6 hard. Yeah, there it wasn't a. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Might take on it as the load on the main was perpendicular and it could have been at a perfect angle to collapse the strut. Well, if it was the left main, yes, but it was the right main. So if the wind's coming from the right, upwind main technically should hit first. So if you hit the right main first with no flare, you're now inputting all of that impact force on one main gear, which could collapse it, but it's not completely side loaded. So if you're side loaded, so if you're cockeyed to the right, okay, you're off to the right and you land, you're most likely going to collapse the left gear. So if you look at my handy dandy airplane here, if you are landing like this, say we're landing on my side stick, right? So you want to land like this, perpendicular, but the wind is coming from the right, so you're crabbed into the wind. If you land like this is when bad things happen, because that right wing is going to probably be trying to roll up on you. You're going to land hard, and the momentum of the aircraft is going to collapse that left main down because it's side-loaded. You have forces, you have G-forces pushing left in, and that's the way that the gear retracts, right? It retracts inward, so the left main will retract from left to right, so you would collapse the left main. So to collapse the right main side loaded doesn't really make sense. I mean, they could shear it off, right? Because the airplane momentum is going to go this way, so you could land on the right main, shear the right gear off, which is also a possibility. But then what happened is, so that right main collapses, and then the tail view, or like a rearward view of what's happening there. So that right main collapses, then that wing goes down, the wing breaks off, and now the fuselage only has one wing. That wing is going to create lift. It's going to roll you up and over. So Narita MD-11, kind of a similar scenario, even though that was a little bit more of a significant impact and bounce and nose wheel bounce and oscillation. That ultimately led to the wing coming off, and that airplane pirouetted over as well. So it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Trying to get oh yeah, look at that view right there. Boom, that looks amazing. Honestly, the video I linked made it look like the Sioux City landing back in the 80s. Which one was that, Tony Johns? Oh, yeah, where they go up and over, yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it's amazing they survived. It's amazing. I also imagine the bank limit before hitting the wing on that low CRJ isn't that much. Yeah, you have to worry about wingtip strikes. So on the Airbus, especially the Neo, so you worry about it, but there is a pod strike limitation as well. So if you land with so much wing down, you have risk of striking the engine pod. Now on a high engine or a high tail mounted engine airplane, you're not going to have that. You're going to have a wingtip strike. So CRJ, corporate jet citation, same thing. That's why the swept wing citations, any swept wing corporate jet sits real low. They get pretty slippery in a crosswind, and a stiff crosswind landing, because you don't have a whole lot of clearance, and you've got that really swept back wing, which just makes it worse. So that could be a challenge to land in a crosswind. Yeah, United 232, Sioux City. Yep, I remember that one. Check an accident happened a long time ago in Brazil. ERJ 145. They hit the runway at 1,000 feet per minute. The airplane tail collapsed, but they hit the ground with the wings leveled. Yeah, so if they hit with both mains down, maybe the mains don't collapse. So hitting that right main and then collapsing it, very possible. Is there a video of just that happening that we can see again? Yeah. It's a corporate jet there. Yeah, see how the runway's paved? I don't think that illusion is really I mean, of course it could be a factor, but it's not like they're landing on a unpaved surface here. This is completely paved. The runway looks like it's going to be in a similar condition. I'm sure there's blowing snow over it. I'm sure it doesn't look absolutely pristine like they look like in Microsoft Flight Sim when there's snow. But I don't think that they would have, you know, just not seen the runway. Boom. So the right main is down. That right main just goes down. That right main hits, and it hits alone, and it hits with no flare. There is no pitch angle change here. Just pay attention to the pitch angle. No pitch angle change. Main down. Wing shears off. Only one wing left. That's going to roll it up and over.
Oh.
That is unbelievable.
Oh, no.
That they survived. That snow probably saved some lives, too. That snow is probably going to save some lives because it looks like it extinguishes the fire pretty rapidly after it goes over into the snow.
Seeing this airplane just crash into 3.
So this is some corporate jet here, isn't it?
Oh!
Because he's told to line up and wait. But see, that's what I'm saying, Andrew P. It doesn't look that hard from this angle. This looks like a no-flare landing. Just a boom, no flare, main collapsed. I'm sure we'll know soon enough at exactly how hard they hit, but that's, to me, what it looks like. All right, we're going to start trickling down. Let's go ahead and tell you what. Let's go ahead and set 24, 25. We're going to do mock descent. Down we go here as we get ready to juice it up into Skardu. The G's number on that one, key 6? I know it, dude. Could it be low-level wind shear? It could be. But it could also just be a no-flare landing, you know. We don't know. I don't know. I'm sure if there was... So if there was a wind shear alert, Toronto's got wind shear detection. So there would have been a wind shear call. There would have been... You would have heard it go off. Tower would have reported it. Wind shear alert. Blah, blah, blah. You know, 10 knot loss reported at runway 23 sensor, whatever. So... Lack of flare. CRJ requires very little flare. Yeah, but it still requires some flare. You have to arrest the descent. There was no arresting of the descent. Last recorded descent rate was 1,000 at 18 feet. Came up with a G load of 1.8, but very prelim in those calcs. Yeah, Matty K, and that's the thing. So that's from with the ADS-B data too, which isn't always as accurate as we want it to be. But I mean, 1.8, I mean, I'm telling you, there was probably people, like, the G stuff that we have makes no sense in the sim. Because my butteriest of butter landings, you're always going to be over 1G. It's impossible to land less than 1G because you're flying at 1G when you hit the ground. So, a 1.8, I wrote it down in my notes somewhere. Let me find the actual... I have the actual limitation for the hard landing. I wrote it down a long time ago. Let me see what it is. I was speaking with a mechanic. I was in training, and we were talking about hard landings, and I said, so what actually triggers a load 15 report? I know I posted it at some point. Here we go. So, a hard landing report to be generated in the Airbus is 840 feet per minute or greater, which is about 14 feet per second, 2.86 G or 2.6 G at the CG location. So if you have a 2.6 G impact at the CG location and a foot per minute, well, it would probably be that or greater. I don't know how they calculate. 840 feet per minute. That triggers a load 15 hard landing report in the Airbus. I have seen a hard landing report in the Airbus multiple times, and I can tell you it is extremely firm. But that is only the level 1 of a hard landing in the Airbus. It can take more than that before it actually becomes a serious inspection. I want to say it's like 2.8 Gs at the CG, or 3G, and 900 to 1,000 feet per minute. If it's over those figures, that's when maintenance has to do an additional inspection. Now, that's Airbus information. The CRJ has a trailing link gear, so it's a little bit different. But just for perspective. It seems like a flat landing, but I'm wondering why the plane is pointing right down the center line, so not much crosswind correction required from the angle we see. Well, John, it's only a 19-knot crosswind component if it was 33 knots. So that's what I'm saying. The crosswind is honestly just any other given day. A 19-knot crosswind component is like, okay. I mean, this is not even me tooting my own horn. I don't think any 121 airline pilot will look at an ATIS report of 19-knot crosswind and think twice. It wouldn't even raise any sort of caution. Once you see crosswind components of 25 knots and up, now you might start thinking, okay, well, I might use auto brakes now so I have equal cooling. So 19 knots is not a big deal. That's standard for everybody that's flying airliners. Any competent airline pilot is going to look at a 19-knot crosswind like, okay, be right. Pairing alert. Nope, don't want that one. Man, I got Bogota next month too. We know you're more scared when it's calm. No, honestly, Wingnut is 100% accurate here. So when I look at the ATIS and the winds are calm or 0, I'm like, well, I'm going to plant this one. So, yeah, absolutely right, Wingnut. We joke about it, but it's honestly a true story. Like, yeah, it's calm winds. I am probably going to plant this one into the pavement. 19-knot crosswind, I'm thinking low auto brakes if I'm keeping the airplane. If I'm not keeping the airplane, forget it. I'll still do manual brakes. We'll smoke the upwind side. If they crossed the threshold at 50 knots, it looks like they were doing 800 feet a minute or more or less, considering how long it took to reach the ground, not considering the wind. Doesn't look that hard. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Alexandra Blaney. That's why my preliminary Juan Brown report is that they had a hard landing, but something else was a factor that caused that gear to collapse. Whether it was mechanically unsound, whether it was a freak accident, kind of like the 7-3 Alaska, where that airplane had been doing just fine. It just happened to have a hard landing and it just pushed it over the edge, metal fatigue, whatever it is. I think there's one other factor there that caused that gear to collapse. We just don't know it yet. Overweight? No, they wouldn't have been landing if they were overweight. They wouldn't have been landing if they were overweight. Okay, we're on the descent here. We got to get the terrain up on ND. I'm actually going to make this, let's make it 21. As we descend down here. We're going to make one turn. There's Skardu. So there's actually, those are the mountains. So we're actually going to fly over. Oh, this is cool. You can see what we're going to do. So we have to fly over the field. We're going to go up this valley, and we're going to turn in between these two mountains, back up the river, and then circle in the valley here to land on 1-4 left. Absolute juice. Watch the video again and look at the elevator. What's happening? I can't tell. I mean, it bounced, or it looks like it's deflected up. I don't know. I can't really see anything definitive on the elevator movement there. Swiss cheese, as Hoover says, we're going to find a cascade chain that leads up to this. Absolutely. Absolutely, Tony Johns. That's with every accident. It's very rare, if ever, one simple thing that causes an accident. It is almost always a consecutive chain of events that lead to an accident. So we can play Juan Brown all we want and speculate, but at the end of the day, until the NTSB gets the data, talks to the crew, we won't have any additional information. All right.
Pakistan 1028, and number 220 to cross the virus, level 185,
All right, we're going to maintain 220. We're out. I'm going to set 18.5, or 19.5 rather, for the turn inbound. Once we reverse the turn inbound, we will then descend to 18.5. We're just doing essentially a procedure turn here to get inbound because we can't make this hard right and descend. We would hit these mountains over here. Do I think wind shear had any factor? I don't think so. Doesn't mean that it didn't. The only reason I say that is because if there was wind shear, I think Tower would have reported it. The Canadian TSB is very good. Through the final report, it's going to be... I think it would be the NTSB, right? Because it's an American aircraft. Now, I'm sure the Transportation Safety Board for the Canadian will be involved. I think it'll be dual. Won't it be like a joint effort, perhaps? Because it's a U.S. carrier. I imagine it'd be some type of a joint effort. All right, so we're turning outbound, and then what I will do is right at green dot. Let's go 230 here in the hold. What traffic are we? We are Skardu. Skardu traffic, Pakistan 357, flight level 220 over Byrib. We're going to make a procedure turn here at Byrib, proceed inbound 19.5 for the circle 14 left, Skardu traffic. All right, let's get the juice sounds up. Let's get this up. Let's get the flight recorder ready because we're definitely going to want to see this one. I think the triple is, I think he already went in. Oh, I'm taking a screenshot. Look at this.
Skardu traffic, Pakistan 575, by red, going down to 18.5 for the procedure turn. Started.
This looks great. I'm going to have to compare this stream with the 2020 scenery. I don't want to go all the way out here. Let's go ahead and go heading.
Pakistan 575, what's your speed?
We're going to spin it all the way back around. So I'm just going to
We're at
manually
220, Pakistan 575.
Roger, Skardu traffic, Pakistan 1020, 180. Skardu.
Yeah, we'll be in the hold. We'll let the other let V1 go first, and then I'll be in the hold.
Roger that, following behind you.
JJ, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. I need your thoughts on the 200-foot mark. Airspeed was 110. Is that normal for a CRJ? JJ, thanks for the super chat, man. 110 knots. I don't know CRJ speeds. It's also going to depend on their weight. Their weight is going to determine their VREF. They're also going to have some type of additive for the wind component. And you're also going to have a reduction in ADSB data because you're looking at ground speed only. So ground speed of 110 knots, 33 knots with a 19 knot crosswind component. So if you take, let's just say it's a 15 knot headwind component, and they were 110 over the ground, you're really 125 in the air. And if you're light, is that a CRJ approach speed? I'm not sure. Did they get slow? That's possible. It's definitely possible they got slow and ran out of energy, if that's where you're going with that thought process. It's definitely a possibility. They got slow behind the power curve. Matter of fact, that would be I would put that up there as the top 1, 2, or 3 contributing factors, is they got slow and behind the power curve. But without knowing the performance data, it's kind of hard to speculate. And they probably would have had a alternate as well. So probably Ottawa or something, an alternate. So they would have had gas for an alternate, which is still crazy that there was very minimal post-crash fire. Just that initial explosion, and then it kind of just stopped burning. All right, we're going to go ahead and descend to 19.5. Thrust idle, open descent, down we go. It looked fast when I was showing 110 ground speed. That's the thing, man. It's so hard to speculate speed from videos. It's very hard to speculate. Because if the only video we had was the video of the security cam from behind that CRJ, I would have thought, oh man, they just hit super hard. But then you see the video from the side and you're like, well, that doesn't look that hard. So what else was going on? All right, 17,000 is set because we're going to be above that. So we're 17,000. We're on the descent. Skardu traffic, Pakistan 357. We're 21, descending, flight level 170, inbound over Byreb for the circle 14 left, Pakistan, or Skardu traffic round. I will start the recording when we're outbound towards the mountains for the circle. Golly, this looks good. Is this better than 2020? I can't remember what 2020 looked like. Gotta make sure we clear this peak here. Recent 79XDX here. Driver timeouts drove me crazy. Fix ensure you have 3 individual PCI providing power, 1000 PSU, and software 2451. Hasn't skipped a beat since. Hans, well, thanks, man. Hopefully I don't have another one. Appreciate you. So far, the XTX, knock on wood, has been doing good, Hans. So if our sim crashes, I blame you. Came in here and jinxed us. All right, we are below 200. I'm going to slow to 220 knots. We'll extend flaps 1. And we're going to hustle up here on our descent. I'm also going to select heading mode now. Heading mode selected. And flaps 1 coming out. Will the pilots be fired? Stefan, it's going to depend greatly on the outcome of the investigation. There is a strong likelihood for pilots being involved in an accident like that one or both may not want to fly again. So that's a possibility. Regardless of what ends up happening career-wise, as far as records go, anytime there is an aircraft incident or accident, it will go on your record. And it will remain on your record. So it's just very dependent on what happens there. All right, we've got 11,000 set. We're below VFU next. Flaps 2's coming out. We're looking good. Oh, wingnut. We're not even close, dude. We got to go. Wingnut, you got to do this approach in the 7-3, man. So you come in here, you fly over, you go out, and you got to split the 2 mounts. So there's 1, 2, and then there's a 3rd mount, and you got to turn before that. Then you come back up the river, and then you circle again right here in this valley, and then land 1-4 left. It's absolutely wild. Check out V1 Sim on YouTube. I've done it a couple times. Next challenge, can we get the 380 in here? I don't know about that. I need to start slowing down, though, but I'm going to try to hustle down to 11, and then I will drop the anchor here. We are in a 321, so full boards are coming out. Sim sounds are coming all the way up 75%. You let me know. I'm trying to learn my new numbers on this new mixer here. We will also
started traffic, Pakistan 575, over by Rev 18,500.
Oh, I never put in the perf data.
Circle the land, 14 left by Rev, started.
We never put in the perf data. We're going to do an autopilot reference height of 500. We'll call the winds calm. Temperature is, it's going to be cold. Let's call it -5. And I'll get the QNH here in a minute. I'm going to try to slow down and go down here, which is not awesome, but we're already at 14, so we're looking good. It's going to shallow out the descent rate. Ooh, our transition altitude is... I can't believe it's still standard here. Alright, once we cross over, we're going to proceed up the valley on, I think it's like a 114. After passing SD, we're passing over the top SD right now. Branch it out to the left. We also need to start slowing to 160 knots. We're going to maintain, what is it, 10.5? 10,500. VFE next, -10. We're in a 321, we're in flaps 3. We are officially committed to the approach now. Once you pass inbound, you are committed to this approach. Skardu traffic, Pakistan 357 over the top of Sierra Delta, outbound for the circle. Skardu traffic. So we are committed to the approach now. There is no going around. So 1, 2, we're going to turn between 2 and 3. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get the recording on. Recording is set. Let's get our lights on. What is the altimeter down here? You guys got an altimeter setting for Skardu? Its Magic Barrel Ref is not picking it up. It still says it's standard, which I don't believe. Speed out star. We're going to continue out to the... We're going to continue wide here for a little bit. And then turn left.
Terrain ahead.
Pull
Pull up.
Skardu 1015.
Terrain ahead.
Approximately.
Pull up.
1015. Also have to inhibit that. 1015 on the meter. 1015. We are activated and confirmed. Alright. 070. Terrain checked. Imagine flying right at those mountains. Wingnut forgot to update his barrel ref too.
Skardu traffic.
1015
Pakistan 575 overhead. Oscar Papa Sierra Delta outbound. Circle left, 14 left. Skardu.
So right in between here, we're going to go ahead and make the turn, and then we're going to go down to 9.5. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Tighten it up. I might have to hand fly this one here. Let's see. Well, looking good, actually. I think we'll be all right. Right between 2 and 3. Back down the river, we will be 9,500 feet. What's the field elevation of this place? Let's go back. Been here so many times, I've kind of got lazy and didn't really check the charts. That's the alternate. 7301. Thanks, AJ. That's all I care about. I don't need that anymore. 7301. That makes sense. All right, so let's go ahead and go open descent. Thrust throttle open descent. So we're going to have to maintain selected speed for this circle up here. And we don't get a... So we don't get a alpha floor. So keep coming back. Hug this to the left. All right. So now we're essentially going to join a left downwind. I want to be at a better angle, though. I don't like this angle. So I'm going to come further left and then kind of give myself a 45 to 1-4 left there. The trickiest part of the approach is yet to come. It's the circle inside of the valley going back to final. We're speed alt star. I'm actually going to bring down the speed just above F speed. Let's call it 154. All right, I like this angle. Now let's go ahead and shoot for the parallel here. About 285. Now we're going to drop another 500 feet. Thrust throttle open descent. All right, so here we go. I like this. Keep coming to the right. I'm going to hand fly this. Recording's already on. Let's go ahead and hand fly. Flight directors are coming off. Give me the bird. Birds in chat. I'm going to set 8,500 for a reference. Got to hug the mountain here on the right side. Typically the circle is going to be right around here. We want to make that turn right there. Wind is from the left, 254 at 4. It's not crazy. What is our VAP is 139. We might have to go gear down and full flap for this turn here. Let's do that. Let's go gear down, spoiler arm, full flap. That's going to give us more margin. We got to do what we got to do. We got because we're just going to be a yank and bank here. Now we've got a nice 20 knot margin for the circle. We'll go right past this little crest, and then it's going to be a hard left 180 degrees. As soon as we pass over here, cabin checked. I like to do a little cheat turn here. Got to do this in the 777. We're going to cheat a hair to the right. Man, that snow looks great on the mountain. All right, so here we go. Out to the right. Do a little bit of a cheat. There's our little reference down there, our building. And yank and bank. Here we go. Yank and bank, don't climb. Yank and bank, don't climb. Bank angle check to the left. Here we go. We want to come out of this turn at about 8,500 feet. Yanking and banking. Bank angle check. Keep coming down here. It's easy to get high in this turn. Sync rate check. We're going to descend below 8,500 feet as we're lining up for the final on 1-4 left. It'd be a lot easier if I could see. At this point, I'm going to manage speed. Runway's in sight. 8,000 feet. We are looking good. Skardu traffic, Pakistan 357 on final, 1-4 left. This is default scenery, wingnut, 100% default.
1,000.
We are 1,000 feet, stable, clear to land. Flight recorder's been on the whole time, baby.
Pakistan 575, a beam, runway 14 on the left downwind.
Juice. That was juice right there. Perfecto. You know what? I think we might have to take the Felis in here. Felis 74200 Skardu. When? The scenery's probably ugly though. Quartering tailwind.
500.
A little bit low. That's all right.
Skardu traffic, Pakistan 575, turning left base to final, runway 14 left. Skardu.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 5.
Oh my goodness. Reverse green. Decel, baby. We got plenty of runway. Let's go ahead and save our brakes. Full reverse. $70 knots. I don't want to jinx it, but I think that was pretty buttery, chat. I think that was pretty buttery.
Skardu traffic, Pakistan 575, final, runway 14 left. Skardu.
I think that was a butter. Check close, hold the attitude. Butter. Clear the runway here. Skardu traffic, Pakistan 357, we're clear of runway 14 left. Be advised, there's grease on the runway. Greasy as KFC. I need a Pepto just thinking about that, Steven. Since I don't have a scenery here anymore, it gets kind of funky as far as parking goes, so I'm going to go ahead and just park all the way to the left here on this pad. I believe they bus passengers up, right?
Base 14 left, Skardu.
I think they bus you to and from the terminal here. I'm going to face this way so we can see other traffic. Brakes are set. We'll leave it running. Somebody just touched down right there. I literally would never attempt to come here, so I don't care. What do you mean? You've got to fly to Skardu, man.
1028, short round, 14 left. Here comes the grease.
This guy's doing a tail skid all the way down the runway here. You could lower the nose at some point. He took hold the nose up to a whole nother level. All right, we'll sit here. We'll see who else we got coming in on final. We'll go full screen cam here. Riding that wheelie, aerodynamic braking. Yeah, he was aerodynamic braking the whole way down. Oh, here comes another one. I can't move my camera any further, so I'm gonna leave it here for now.
I feel the grease coming.
Oh, I gotta stop the recording. Dang, I've been recording that whole time.
Skardu traffic, Pakistan 575, clear of all runways.
Hey, check your gear, buddy. Did they have gear on the ground in Delhi? I think they did.
Don't do that.
Oh, he's losing it. He's losing it. Oh, he's getting squirrely. Oh my gosh, dude hit so hard. Dude smoked it. Oh, look at this. Hold on. 777 doing the circle. Riding the shaker. You might want to check for your gear back there in the touchdown zone. He must have a different scenery because he's got a turn off. I hope he has a turn off.
Definitely back there.
It's definitely back there. That's Bill's Mafia. Is Bill's Mafia? Yeah, he made the turn. He made it. He made it. I think that's Bill's Mafia. Wingnut, I believe so. I think PIA is the only one that flies in here. I know military aircraft fly in here. The Pakistani Air Force, I think?
I'm in an A320, by the way.
Oh, he's a 320. So it's just a model mismatch. It still looks awesome. But this is one of my favorite airports to fly into, just because it's challenging enough but it's not crazy hard. There's no like complex VNAV profiles you got to do. You just have to avoid the mountains. Avoid the mountains, fly the track you're supposed to fly, and demonstrate that you can operate in a confined environment with the airplane fully configured. He looks a little high though, doesn't he, Steven? He has a different runway, maybe. Oh yeah, he must have the scenery. Oh, maybe not. That actually looked pretty good. That looked pretty good. That looked pretty good, actually. I don't think it was as greasy as ours. But that looked pretty good. Oh, I'll see if anybody else is doing the circle here. Matty K, thank you for the $2 super chat, man. Appreciate you. Very kind.
Minus 236.
A 236, huh? We'll have to see about that. All right, let's take a look at ours. Let's take a look at ours. Skardu looks better in 2024. All right, let's take a look. Here's our ramp. We've got all our. This is the. I wish I had my scenery here because I'm pretty sure this guy's got the scenery. Here comes the other 320. All right, let's go. Replay cam is up. I'm going to disconnect from my Veo Premium. It's been an honor flying with you, gentlemen. We'll see you on the next one. All right, let's go ahead and throw it the replay. This is going to be a far out one here. I'm not going to watch this one all the way through. We're going to run it forward here. We just want to see the landing. I'm going to let y'all watch the full landing. Let's go ahead and just watch our touchdown. Let's do that. Let's put the auto thrust back on. Let's arm the spoilers. Flaps are coming in. I'm going to have to check. I'm getting a freezing rain alert. I'm going to have to look outside to see if it'll be safe to do the second stream. Because I got a bunch of untreated roads and a lot of hilly terrain that I have to traverse if the ice starts coming down. Yeah, I do too, Mr. Saturday. The fairing green. Yeah, I love that. I think that was pretty good. I guess I didn't have it armed. There they are. Oh, my thrust levers. There we go. Let's wind it back. Let's see. Leaper, take it easy, man. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I'm going to launch G's for this one. I'm going to launch G's. All right, G's has been loaded. Let's wind it back. Do that. Resume. Is the Piaggio good? I've only done like 2 quick test sectors. I think I've done 1 crash landing so far. Stay tuned.
Don't sink.
Let's see here what G says. Hold it off. Oh, a 118. 118. Let's get one more. Confirm it. It could have been even more soft. You see how like I rounded out just perfectly, but if I did it like 0.5 seconds earlier, it would have been real soft. 108 on that one. Oh, here, hold on. There you go. Now you can see it. What was that? That was the 108 on that one. .110. Full flaps in. Landing challenge when? Landing challenge Skardu. I think it has to be Skardu. I think it has to be Skardu for the landing challenge, Wingnut. Alright, I'm going to let sail play from over the top of Sierra Delta VOR. Bring the gear back up. Let's bring the auto thrust back on. Stow the speed brakes. Get due set. Flaps were at position 2. Looking good. Resume replay. I'm going to sign off here. Here's the plan, y'all. Thank you. First and foremost, thank you all for the support, the super chats, the bank angle checks. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate you hanging out with me on this Tuesday afternoon flight up into Skardu. Planning on doing a Piaggio stream next at 5 p.m., which is in an hour and a half from now. I'm going to go look outside, see what the weather's doing. I may do one of two things. I may have to bump up the stream to like in the next 20 minutes, or I may just postpone it till tomorrow. So I will be checking on that as soon as I conclude this stream. But nevertheless, this one was a lot of fun. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. I sure did. Enjoy the views on the way back into Skardu. I wonder if I should set the time to like later in the evening. All right. Anyway, if I don't see you, well, I should see y'all tomorrow. Ooh, the window reflection is kind of neat. I should see y'all tomorrow. If not, I won't see you until the weekend. So anyway, I'll be on the Discord. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya!
500.
That one said 88 feet per minute. Fenix is the GOAT.